Hello and welcome to a new special edition of the Midwest Kayak Angler. Today, spent the day at the Chicagoland fishing show, we'll call it, and got to see some of the highlights. Wanted to document a little bit on a video here so you can kind of see what's there if you're interested in going this weekend. Really nice event, really good turnout for a Friday afternoon. I guess there's a lot of people that don't need to go to work today. But what you'll see today is largely going to focus on some of the kayaks, the fishing kayaks that are there, some of the custom fishing poles, fishing rods that are there, and a little bit on just some other interesting things I saw and interesting people I met while at the show. St. Croix was definitely in attendance with a very large booth. A good selection of different baits and lures directly from the manufacturers, and there was actually quite a few tackle shops there that I was not really aware of in this area. It'd be good to know now that they do exist, and I can go visit them and potentially do some shopping. You see the tackle warehouse representative there. Not actually a representative, but it was good to see somebody there with a tackle warehouse shirt, even though there wasn't anybody quite like that at this show. The show had quite a few opportunities for travel to fishing resorts, to fishing camps. So it was really interesting to see all those that had up on offer. Started here in the Hobie dealer, Quest Water Sports. They're about the only one left in this area now that my dealer here in Crystal Lake went out of, or actually retired. So I'm glad to see that Quest, they showed up with everything. They brought a big display. They showed the inflatables. They had, each of the primary current models. This one, they also had all of the accessories, which was quite nice to see and be able to pick a couple things up, not having to go online to buy things. You actually be able to get them right here locally. So I'm glad I ran into these guys and kind of got to meet some of them and determine that they are not too far away for me to drive down to and pick up supplies when necessary. I like that live well. That's a really nice setup. I haven't purchased one yet, but it actually looks like it would be very useful. Here we have the new Outback, and it's a really nice boat. I mean, it seems like it's outfitted to be a very efficient fishing vessel. Everything's set up exactly how you would need it. It's a little bit smaller than my PA 14 that I've become accustomed to, but it actually looks really nice. These guys are out of Rockford. I did not know them at all, but they do have a lot of the big brands. They have Bonafide, they have New Canoe, they have Jackson. They had some really great stuff on display, and they had some really knowledgeable people there talking about the products. So it was actually really informative to be able to see a lot of these kayaks because I have not seen them in local shops. I really haven't got to put my hands on any of these brands locally. I did not realize that they were not too far away out in Rockford. Like I said, they had Jackson Kayak. They had several different brands. And it was actually good to see all these different fishing types of kayaks out. Get to see some of the drive units that they use, how they compare to the Hobie that I'm accustomed to. This the new Flex Drive here seemed to be very nice. It actually pops up on debris, whatever you might hit underwater. This is one that I was really interested in. I think it might look really good on my on the Water Innovations trailer that's coming. The black carbon fiber on the black trailer would be a pretty slick setup, and it seems to protect the rods quite well. I was pretty impressed with it. I have not seen that locally in any of the stores that I've shopped, but I could definitely see that one making it onto my trailer. I went over to see some of the training sessions at the hog troughs. It was really interesting. I've seen these on YouTube before. I've seen some of the big YouTube celebrities fishing these, but to kind of see it and see I saw one of the instructors going over some good details. It was interesting. It was definitely worth sitting and checking out. Not something you get to see every day for sure.
Rod that we fish, the type of line, the type of presentation, the mechanics on your hook set or lack of one, depending if you're fishing braid or flow or mono, all of those learning opportunities translate all the way up the scale, okay? And you guys saw like how those smaller bass were eating that 110 on the paws a lot of times. Swims on the way down, it sits there perfectly on the bottom like a little sculpin or goby. And we get a lot of bites with it literally doing nothing. We get a lot of bites with it crawling.
I was really excited to see the fly fishing instruction they had in the facility. I have zero idea how to fly fish, but I'd really like to pick it up. I think it'd be a great thing to do from the Hobie PA 14. So I really want to learn how to do this. And, they had some good instructors. They had a lot of knowledgeable people there. It was actually really interesting to watch them for a bit. Daiwa showed up with the prerequisite amount of bling that you would expect from them. It's a lot of eye candy. Really nice. I like Daiwa. I have several of the Tattoo Elites. Getting to see some of those, and then really some of the Zillions and some of the others that I haven't really experienced up to this point. It was a really nice booth. They had all of their reels, plus they had most of the rods, and they had quite a few accessories and brands that I guess fall up under Daiwa, but I did not realize were their brands. So it was actually, it was a very popular booth. There was a lot of people there, but they had a good number of staff, and they had a lot of people answering questions. So I actually got a lot of benefit stopping by there. These next guys, they're new to me, but I guess they were well known because people kept pointing them out to me while I was there. They're mags out of, I guess, the Upper Peninsula here in Michigan. Really nice stuff. What I was primarily interested in was these ice fishing rods that they do have. They seem to be fantastically built, custom rods. I was very impressed with them. Really impressed enough to buy a couple for myself. Kind of a little walkthrough here of some of the ones that they had. All custom cork. Everything's pretty much done by some of the people that you saw at the booth. We had different people that did each part of the rods there to kind of tell us why they did it and what they did. I got two, both in kind of the medium heavy, because I kind of want to use these to fish for the large northern pike in the lake here at the back of my house. We already do have ice. We're, I guess, lucky enough that people are already out ice fishing on our lake. Two different types of eyelets on these. One was a kind of a better for ice buildup, I guess, was the big idea. But it was, I think it was about a $20 upcharge for one of them. But they have great flex. They have very strong backbone. I really look forward to them. And I got a couple of reels right next door at a shop that was having some great deals there. So I got a couple of those to put on these. I stopped here at RAZR Rods. Really impressed with these guys. I did not know them. They're based out of Missouri. Really nice guys. I looked at some of their custom work, like this one here in the middle. It has an inlaid snake skin, a real snake skin, and a feather in there. Quite interesting.
Hang on, I gotta hit the line first. That was actually just air, the first two or three.
I can almost feel it. It was so good.
It's crazy. Trying to get our name out there, so if we get an opportunity, I'd love to get the rod in your boat and catch some fish with it.
Really the most popular part of the show, outside of some of the bigger fishing manufacturers, was the bass boats. And, they were quite exciting. I did not realize how prevalent glitter was on bass boats these days. I assume that must be something to do with fish attractant. I hope that Hobie does not catch on to that, and I hope that the next PA 14s are not glitter or so sparkly as some of these Rangers. But they are good-looking boats. I mean, I certainly wouldn't turn one down if somebody wanted to put one in my driveway. I don't really know this brand, but I found the boat to be very nicely built. The trailer was very nicely built. It was a very interesting boat. Like I said, I mostly fish kayak because that's what they allow on the lake that I live on. But this one was pretty slick. I liked it. It had some really interesting features, and it was a pretty good looking boat. There's another one that I would gladly give a space on my driveway to. Well, thank you. If you guys liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to like the episode, and hopefully we'll see you next time where we're going to finish up the PA-14 install, doing a lot more lights and electronic systems on there, and we probably should have that done within the next week. Thanks a lot.